Hi, I'm Alan Berg. Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in to this webinar, Doing the Impossible, Lessons in Perseverance from Walt Disney. Tonight, we're helping to feed America through the company, the charity Feeding America. And at this time of the year, it's so important to keep other people in mind besides ourselves. And my good friend Ron Ruth asked me if I would help out with this. I bought my ticket as well. And this is an opportunity to do something for yourselves and to do something good for other people as well. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's learn some lessons from Walt Disney. Take it away, Ron.
Thank you so much, Alan, and thank you all for being here this evening. I am a Disney geek. I love everything about the Disney brand. I love Disney characters. I love Disney movies. I love the Disney theme parks. And I love how Disney delivers amazing, memorable experiences to their theme park guests. I love the Disney guest experience delivery process so much, it has become the inspiration for the customer experiences I deliver in my own business. So here's what I'd like for you all to do. If you think that you are also a Disney geek, what I want you to do is I want you to type yes in the chat. I can see all the chats. Even if you don't know for certain if you're a Disney geek, don't worry about it because you're about to get a chance to find out by participating in a short rapid fire Disney aptitude quiz. Now, here's how this works. There are 8 multiple choice questions total. You're going to get 3 seconds to make your choice A, B, or C for each question. Now, just for the fun of it, what I'd like for you to do is put the letter of your answers in the chat to see how you do against others here this evening. And at the end of the quiz, we're going to tally up all of your correct answers to see how you rank in Disney geekness. So get ready, get your paper and pencil handy if you're going to take the score at home, or get ready to put it in the chat. So here comes your first question. What year did Disneyland open? What year did Disneyland open? Was it A, 1942, B, 1955, or C, 1971? Take 3 seconds, think about it. And the correct answer is 1955. As a matter of fact, it was actually July 17th. 1955. This year celebrates their 65th anniversary. So question number 2, what does Hakuna Matata mean? Does it mean no worries? Does it mean excuse me? Or does it mean what's happening? Think about it. Is it A, B, or C? And the correct answer, of course, is A, no worries. Next question, what was the first Pixar movie? Was it Lightning McQueen in Cars? Was it Up with Mr. Fredricksen, Russell, Kevin, and Doug? Or was it C, the ultimate buddy movie, Toy Story with Buzz Lightyear and Woody? So A, B, or C, 3 seconds to think about it. And the correct answer was, or is, Toy Story, and it was released in 1995. That one makes me feel so old. All right, on to the next one. Who serves as Pinocchio's conscience? Was it Bibbidi, Jiminy, or Bobbidi? Bibbidi, Jiminy, or Bobbidi? Take 3 seconds, A, B, or C. And the correct answer is B, Jiminy. Next question. Julie Andrews made her feature film debut in which Disney movie? Was it The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music? You didn't know it was going to be dinner in this show, did you? Or was it Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Mary Poppins? Or was it the Roaring Twenties Thoroughly Modern Millie? Take a moment and think about it, A, B, or C. And the correct answer is Mary Poppins. She's practically perfect in every way. Next question. Mike and Sully joined which fraternity in Monsters University? Was it Icky Phi Icky, Delta Scare, or Uzma Kappa? 3 seconds quickly, A, B, or C. And the correct answer is Uzma Kappa. We have 2 more questions. Next one up. Which Disney animated feature included the song Someday My Prince Will Come? I always wanted to be a lounge singer. Was it Snow White? Was it Sleeping Beauty? Or was it Cinderella? 3 seconds, A, B, or C. The correct answer is Snow White. Okay, so here's your last question. This one is worth 2 points because you'll have two answers for this question. What are the two names of Cinderella's stepsisters? Again, it's worth 2 points. Anastasia, Cruella, and Drizella. Which two of those three were Cinderella's stepsisters? Go ahead and think about it. Take a minute. And the correct answer is Anastasia and Drizella. Okay, so let's see how you did. If you got 5 correct answers, you're a Disney geek. If you're a Disney geek, what I want you to do in the chat, just type in geek real fast. So I know you're a geek. Go ahead and show off your geekness here. If you got 3 to 4 correct, in that chat, I want you to type in nerd. Type in nerd. Alan's a nerd. Carrie Phillips is a geek. Good for Carrie. All right. And if you only got 1 to 2 correct, then you are a Disney apprentice. Just type in APP if you only got like 1 or 2 correct. Wow, looks like you all did at least geekness or nerdness. You know what though? I just remembered I have one more question for you. Now this question is not worth any points. You just pick what you think is the correct answer. If COVID was a Disney villain, which villain would it be? Would it be the evil queen in Snow White? Or would it be Scar from Lion King? Or would it be Ursula from A Little Mermaid? Which one of those do you think would be COVID? Actually, it really doesn't matter. COVID could be any one of those Disney villains because the sole purpose of a villain is to be an antagonist, to create disruption, to force the hero or heroine of the story to change direction in order to achieve their goals. The evil villain COVID is no different. It has caused disruption and permanent changes in the way we all live our lives and interact with each other and how businesses operate and serve their customers. Now, as a business owner who has also been impacted by the pandemic, I believe business will never return to what we knew as normal. But that's okay, because the pandemic generated a 21st century business renaissance, an opportunity to start anew. Think of it as a beautiful sunrise shining over a fresh light on the beginning of a brand new day. The goals, dreams, and aspirations you had before this terribly inconvenient interruption of life and business are still attainable. There is still a path to creating previously unimaginable innovation. Innovation that, in the long run, can actually impact your lives and businesses for the better and move you to do extraordinary things if you remain resilient, which of course is the key to perseverance. Now, in my opinion, one of the greatest examples of resilience and perseverance is Walt Disney. Walt was a relentless dreamer with a never say never attitude who also accepted obstacles and challenges as part of doing everyday business, even saying, times and conditions change so rapidly that we must keep our aim focused on the future. Some of Walt's greatest challenges began exactly 100 years ago, right here in my hometown of Kansas City. So, as a special treat this evening, we're all going on a short 10-minute field trip to where Walt's journey began. Now, don't worry, transportation has all been arranged. As a matter of fact, we're going to fly. All we need is a little pixie dust and a happy thought.
Come on, everybody, here we go!
So right now we're standing outside one of my favorite Kansas City landmarks, Laugh-O-Gram Studios on the corner of 31st and Troost. Early in the 20th century, this location also became known as the cradle of animation because of the number of talented animators who got their start in this very building working for Laugh-O-Gram owner, Walt Disney. Every time I drive by this location, I'm inspired, not so much by Walt's ultimate successes, but in how achieving success required him to overcome a number of adversities along the journey. But as he put it himself, all the adversity I've had in my life, all my troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. Walt Disney lived in Kansas City at two different times in his life, from 1911, when he was just 9 years old, until 1917, and again from 1919 to 1923. The second time was arguably the most influential time of his vast career. At the conclusion of World War I in 1919, and after serving as an ambulance driver in the Red Cross, 18-year-old Walt Disney was already a very talented artist and had studied at both the Kansas City and Chicago Art Institutes. His father offered him a job in Chicago working in his jelly factory for $25 per week, but Walt had greater aspirations and turned him down to follow his own dream of becoming an artist. He returned to Kansas City and moved in with one of his three older brothers, Roy, with the hope of finding work as a political cartoonist. The first job he applied for in that field was with the Kansas City Star newspaper, but he was turned away by a short-sighted editor who said he was not only too young, he had no talent. Disappointed but not deterred, Walt's older brother Roy found him a temporary $50 per month apprentice position at Pesman Rubin Commercial Art Studio, where he created ads for periodicals and movie theaters. It was there that Walt would meet cartoonist Ub Iwerks, another individual who would become well known in the world of animation and extraordinarily influential in helping Walt achieve his dreams. When their temp jobs ended, Walt and Ub tried their hand at starting a commercial art business of their own called Iwerks Disney. But times were tough and customers were few. Walt was forced to leave that business to work as an artist for the Kansas City Film Ad Service Company, creating very primitive animation. Regardless, Walt was intrigued with the art form, and like it was with all things he did in his life, he set out to make it better. With a camera he borrowed from the owner of Film Ad and 2 books on animation that he checked out from the Kansas City Public Library, Disney began to experiment with this new medium on his own time. In 1920, an imaginative and industrious 19-year-old Disney believed he was ready to start his own animation company. He set up shop on the 2nd floor of this building right behind me here in Midtown Kansas City, and with the help of only 1 employee, Walt worked a deal with Kansas City's Newman Theater to show his one-reel editorial-style cartoons. Those cartoons proved to be very popular, and it wasn't long before Walt was able to hire a number of talented animators, including his friend Ub. His business eventually took over 5 office spaces on that 2nd floor to work on a series of fairy tale-based cartoons for another distributor. In 1922, things were going so well for his company that Disney raised $15,000 from backers and incorporated Laugh-O-Gram Studios. But between equipment purchases, the high salaries Walt was paying his artists, his inability to make a profit on his studio's expensively produced cartoons, and the fact that the distributor who ordered those cartoons went bankrupt, it wasn't long before Laugh-O-Grams was bogged down in debt. At the beginning of 1923, his landlord sued for unpaid rent. His animators were quitting due to unpaid salaries. Disney himself could no longer afford to pay boarding house rent, so he started sleeping in his studio. He would run up a food tab at the Forest Inn Cafe on the 1st floor of the building. It's about where that doorway is behind me. And once a week, he would pay a dime to take a bath at Union Station. When he was unable to pay his cafe tab, he ate beans from a can and bread at his desk, and at times a crumb or 2 would fall to the floor. And, as Disney lore has it, those tiny morsels, of course, became a feast to a small mouse that had also taken up refuge in the studio. In July 1923, with Laugh-O-Gram in bankruptcy, Walt sold the only thing the court let him keep, a camera. And in his typical optimistic fashion, he bought a first-class ticket on a train bound for Los Angeles to try his hand at directing, or maybe acting. Walt couldn't catch a part or a break. When his aspirations hit a dead end, Disney convinced his brother Roy to join him in setting up the only animation studio in California at the time. In 1927, Disney found his first major success with a character he created called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. But that success was robbed from him by a scrupulous film distributor in New York who legally claimed trademark ownership and took over all rights to the character, plus well, he hired away a good number of Walt's most talented animators. As always, though, Walt was a survivor and didn't let the misfortune keep him down. He simply adapted as he always had so he could continue moving forward. On the train ride back from New York to LA, Walt and his wife Lillian had a brief layover here in Kansas City where, again, according to Disney lore, Walt was reminded of the little mouse he had befriended at his old Laugh-O-Gram studios. Inspired by that memory, he spent the remainder of his journey to LA sketching out his next big enterprise, a cute little mouse that he named Mortimer, but later changed to Mickey at the suggestion of his wife. 3 Mickey Mouse cartoons were quickly produced. The first 2, Plain Crazy and The Galloping Gaucho, previewed well with audiences, but multiple distributors rejected them. Not deterred though, Walt insisted the 3rd Mickey Mouse cartoon include an unheard of wow feature. So in November 1928, only 5 years from the time Laugh-O-Gram Studios' bankruptcy was final, Walt Disney Studios released Steamboat Willie, the first cartoon with synchronized sound. It was an immediate hit. Walt quickly earned a profit for the studio and his way back to the top of his industry. Plus, he was awarded his very first Oscar for the creation of Mickey Mouse. But even with his success, Disney still faced adversities in keeping his business afloat. He became overworked and stress led him to have a nervous breakdown. After taking some time off to recuperate, he returned with a bold new idea. He would develop the first full-length animated feature which he titled Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's home from work we go. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.
It was released in 1937 and became a huge success at the box office. Yet, the 3 films that followed, Pinocchio and Fantasia in 1940 and Bambi in 1942, would all end up being flops. Truth be told, Walt spent a good part of his life standing up to adversity, from lack of finances to labor disputes, to a studio shutdown during World War II, to a disastrous opening day at Disneyland in July 1955. But because Walt was a very determined and resilient visionary, his perseverance, finding his way through every adversity, actually led to greater successes. What I admire most about Walt is that he simply dusted himself off and kept moving towards his goals. Setbacks never slowed him down. A lesser man would have quit. Fortunately for all of mankind, Walt was resilient and persevered because he believed the difference between winning and losing is often not quitting. Well, it looks like another tour group is moving in, so I'll tell you what, think your happy thoughts. I'm going to see you right back where we started. By the way, a couple of quick things. Today marks, if you're watching this as a live video on, November the 18th. Today marks the 92nd birthday of Mickey Mouse. This is 92 years ago is when Steamboat Willie was released. Also, Laugh-O-Gram Studios that you see behind me, they're actually in the process, there's a group of people in the process of renovating Laugh-O-Gram to turn it into an art center for the neighborhood where it's located. Now, if you'd like to know more about that art center, all you need to do is just go to thankyouwaltdisney.org. thankyouwaltdisney.org, and you'll be able to see the floor plans and find out also what you could do if you'd like to do something to help with this incredible project that they're working on. And it's going to be amazing. This building is going to take a lot of work, I can assure you. So because of his resilience, I don't think Walt would be surprised today to learn just how much his business has persevered over the last century and since his days at Laugh-O-Gram, or to discover that his legacy, the Walt Disney Corporation, is now the largest and most successful entertainment enterprise on the planet. But the unfortunate reality today is that the Disney Corporation is like your business, and like my business, and none of us are immune from the economic impact of the pandemic. And even more unfortunately, it has had to adapt in a number of very unpleasant ways in order to remain operational. Fortunately, though, Disney leadership still embraces the ideas and vision of their founder as they modify their business model today to be more resilient in accepting the challenges of doing business tomorrow. And if business history, past history, is any indicator, they will not only persevere, they will come out stronger on the other side. The same is possible for your business. And if you learn from the lessons of Walt Disney himself to make it easier to navigate through these impossible times. As a matter of fact, one of Walt's mantras was, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And I believe if Walt were with us today, I believe he would define fun to mean fuel your curiosity, unite your team around a common purpose, and engage in nonstop plussing. So fueling your curiosity, it means questioning all possibilities and weighing every option. You see, there's no guarantee that the disruption caused by the pandemic will be the last unanticipated obstacle business owners will face in the near and long term. As Walt would attest, life is full of adversity and struggle. It's through difficult times that we all learn the most important lessons about ourselves and our resilience and our ability to adapt, adopt, and adjust. But adversity also presents an upside. As it was for Walt, adversity gives us the freedom to seek out previously undiscovered opportunities to do amazing things on behalf of our customers and our business, because we are now forced to think more creatively if we want our businesses to not only persevere, but come out stronger on the other side. But you know what? That requires a full tank of curiosity that can only be found outside of your comfort zone, where you can more easily tap into your exclusively human ability to dream, imagine, and create. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a moment and look at the top of your pinky. Just take a moment and focus on the very tip top of your pinky. That area right up there, that represents your comfort zone. And as you can see, it's a very small place for your imagination to play, especially when you consider that the space around it represents a vast universe of amazing ideas just waiting to be discovered. But you have to be courageous enough to explore and daring enough to consider the possibilities. Think of it as the galaxy of what if. See, Walt was no stranger to the galaxy of what if. What if we give Mickey Mouse a voice? What if we produce a full-length animated feature? What if we create a theme park where children and adults can play together? What if we have animated penguins dancing alongside a live actor in a movie? What if we make use of technology to create a mechanical figure that can move, talk, and show emotion like a real live human being? Walt's list of what ifs was endless. Without Walt's curiosity, asking the question of what if, the Walt Disney Studios would have been no different than any other film studio. Disneyland and Disney theme parks around the world would either not exist or be no more appealing than a parking lot carnival. His curiosity and willingness to experiment and to take risk in a journey to find answers is what made Walt different. It's what made his business stand out. It's what made him a visionary. So what makes you, your team, and your business different than any other service provider, every other retailer, every other supplier? How often do you and your team visit your galaxy of what if to explore the unlimited ways of making your business different, more accessible, more accommodating, more appreciative? How can you make it so easy and enjoyable for your customers to do business with you at every touch point, from first contact through the entirety of their relationship with your business, that they would be hard pressed to take their business anywhere else. The galaxy of what if gives you the freedom to experiment and take risks, to formulate new ways of doing business, and to making your competition irrelevant. It gives you a chance to become a visionary in your industry. When asked how he always seems to find a way to innovate, even in the most challenging situations, Walt said, "Around here, we don't look forward for very long. We keep moving forward. Around here, we don't look backward for very long. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." Hard times present you with a chance to change course, to explore the galaxy of undiscovered ideas, for reinventing or renewing your business to continually move forward. Your success is dependent on your willingness to fuel your curiosity and to continually ask, what if, in order to innovate and improve your situation for today and tomorrow. The second definition of having fun doing the impossible is to unite your team around a common purpose. Walt once said, "Of all the things I've done, the most vital is coordinating those who work with me and aiming their efforts at a certain goal." Every accomplishment Walt experienced came from not only being a visionary, but from being the consummate salesman to keep his team of animators or Imagineers to buy into his vision and ideas. He was also their greatest cheerleader, encouraging them all to tap into the talent he knew they had, but they had yet to discover themselves. A case in point, Disneyland. Walt wanted a more creative and imaginative approach to building the theme park than typical contractors could ever provide. So he convinced a number of his animators and artists to take over most of the design responsibilities. Of course, those individuals were skeptical and apprehensive that they could live up to the challenge or to Walt's expectations. But with only a year to complete Disneyland, those team members had no time to doubt Walt's confidence in their ability to transition into the project and could only focus on what needed to be done and rally around the necessity of getting the park open on time. They not only came to believe in themselves and their skills, they believed that any task they were given was possible to complete. And they believed that their efforts would make a positive difference in their lives, the lives of their guests, and in their future. Disneyland not only opened as scheduled, the collaborative effort and structures and attractions of those original Imagineers still greets millions of guests from around the world every single year. So to unite your team around your business goals requires more than just a hi ho, it's off to work we go attitude. They need the encouragement and confidence to take their skills to the next level by sharing in a common purpose, one they can all agree is worthy to achieve, a goal all stakeholders believe is possible, and one that will make a difference in their lives, in your customers' lives, and in the future of your business. When team members can rally around a common dream, working towards a shared purpose, they'll sacrifice together, they'll lift each other up, and they'll do their utmost not to let you or each other down. And their greater satisfaction will come from sharing their efforts with the world. Walt's third definition for having fun doing the impossible is to engage in nonstop plussing. Now, Walt coined that term plussing to mean make improvements. Remember from our field trip a few moments ago to Laugh-O-Gram, that when he got one of his first jobs working as an artist for Kansas City Film Ad Service, he was creating very primitive animation, but that wasn't enough for Walt. So he set out to find a way to make it better, to plus it, if you will. That need That need for constant improvement followed him his entire life, even with Disneyland. Walt often bragged, I wanted something live, something that would grow, something I could keep plussing with ideas. Do me a favor, real quick, type yes in the chat if you enjoy the Disney parade on Christmas morning as much as my wife Debbie and I do. I mean, we get up like early in the morning, we open what few gifts we have between the two of us. Then we get showered and dressed, and we get our coffee and our cinnamon rolls, and we sit in front of the TV, and we plant ourselves in front of that parade for 2 hours. Who else does that? If you do that, put yes in there for me. Yes, see, it's great to know I'm not alone. Yes from Alan, have done it from Carrie. That's perfect. And I got a great story about this. See, shortly after Disneyland opened in 1955, Walt announced to his accountants that he was going to add a Christmas parade as a new attraction at the park. Now, this plussing or improvement wasn't just a parade. It would be a $350,000 extravaganza. His accountants went nuts. They begged him, Walt, don't spend that kind of money on such an extravagance. They said, Walt, guests are already in the park. Nobody will complain if it doesn't happen because nobody will be expecting it. To which Walt said, you know what? That's just the point. We should do the parade precisely because no one is expecting it. Our goal at Disneyland is to always give the people more than they expect, to always be plussing, improving the show. And as long as we do, they'll keep coming back. If they ever stop coming back, it will cost us 10 times more to get them back. His idea and parade was a huge hit. Think about what has happened to that parade today. Now, in its 37th year on TV on Christmas morning, it has become a worldwide multi-million-dollar money-making holiday tradition. When was the last time you plussed anything in your business? Think about your product or service. Once you think you've made it the best it can be, how can you plus it even more to make it even a little bit better? How can you one-up yourself today, right now, to deliver something beyond what your customers, your team members, or even you expect from you? And then once you think you have it all figured out, go further to plus it some more. The only limitations to nonstop plussing are your imagination. Before I wrap, I want to thank all of you for your very generous donations that will benefit Feeding America and hundreds of hungry families just in time for the holidays. It means so much. Every dollar donated will help feed up to 10 families. We have a lot of families that are going to be fed after tonight. I also appreciate you spending a few minutes of your evening with me. I'm humbled by your presence. And someday when you're ready to do some fun transforming with your business and possibilities into real and actionable possibilities, please visit my website, ronruth.com. You can contact me through there. Doing the impossible is still very possible, even with the evil, villainous COVID afoot. Follow Walt's lead and explore your galaxy of what if to find your own way to have fun doing the impossible. Fuel your curiosity. Visit the galaxy of what if. Unite your team around a common purpose. Give them something they can work on together and enjoy together, and it will make a difference in their lives, in your customers' lives, and in your business. And never, ever stop plussing, making those improvements that will keep people coming back for more. I wish all of you a safe, healthy, happy, and profitable holiday season. Thank you so much for spending some time with me.